feels as though for the first time in my life that my city is on the map and the world is watching us. Just not that long ago, I remember I was in 8th grade, I believe, when Philando Castile was murdered by police. There were protests, there were movements, there was organizing around Philando Castile. But after a while, things just got silent. And I think the eruption that we're seeing in Minneapolis and Minnesota is coming from a community that it has been suffering in this city for far too long.
Knowing that so many of my friends and so many people in my community have to deal with this and it's such a real issue for them has really motivated me to bring them the same sort of liberation that my parents came here seeking.
I'm feeling a sense of global connectedness through all of this because every day, every hour, there's a new city or a new town somewhere in the US that's protesting and doing everything they can, whether it's a group of high schoolers and there's only 15 of them, or if it's 1,500 who are protesting at the Capitol. It feels good to know that our struggle right now is not isolated and we are not alone.
This country who are afraid to walk outside their house every single morning because they do not know what's going to happen to them.
Everyone thought that Baton Rouge wasn't able to have a peaceful protest. So I knew when Mia contacted me that we would be able to bring that message forward.
I ask us all to raise our hands and protest for all of the Black people who are scared to walk out of their houses every day.
I'm really excited about the turnout of our protest, how it came out. I'm especially excited about how people actually took us seriously because a lot of adults like to say, well, teenagers don't really know what they're talking about. They don't really know what their political and social opinions are. And we really did show them that the youth of Baton Rouge and Louisiana does know what they want. Our protest was not just for George Floyd and his family. It was for all the victims of police brutality and racial injustice in America.
I'm not happy really with how the world is, and I want to use my own voice to try and change that and try and make it into a better place. And I think that this was a great place to start.
Maybe somebody in my school could be the next president. We are our country's future.
My name is Faith Rasta. I'm a 17-year-old biracial woman from the Fox Cities, and I'm here to let you guys know that I am sick and tired of seeing Black lives gone to our country.
You don't need to live in a big city to have your message heard. I don't live in a big city, and we still pulled it off. I've never spoken in front of that many people before in my life, and for the first time, I really felt heard.
No matter what color, political background, or party you come from.
My mom thinks that because she raised me in a white household, that when I walk out of those front doors, I'm still white, and that's not true. When I walk out that front door, I'm a tan girl with curly hair. Like, it doesn't matter how she brought me up. How can you not see my face when you look at a picture of Breonna Taylor? I refuse to look my children in the face and say, I did not do anything to make sure you grew up in a world that is not the same as the one I grew up in.
Hear me? Yeah!
I just wanted to say I'm very happy that everybody showed up today. As a small community and growing up here all my life, this is insane. This is all I've ever wanted to see, and I've been seeing it so much this week, and it just means the world to me.
Being away from school in this time with everything going on, I feel like it gave us more time and energy to be able to create something like this. I talked with a lot of people and I got a lot of backlash from adults in the community, and I was really close to just not doing it altogether. Like the morning of, I woke up really early and we were talking about just canceling, and I'm really glad I didn't because it ended up being a total success and so peaceful.
So everybody being here today, I just want you guys to realize that we're all here for each other. That's all I've ever wanted us to be here for, is each other. So thank you for being here.
Going through the quarantine that we were all going through and still hearing about all the things that are happening, and me feeling like I didn't have a proper place to talk about it with my fellow people of color in my community, I was very excited and very pumped to be able to share it out loud and finally with people that I cared about.
It's about us using our privilege to give other people voices.
A lot of the things that our generation is advocating for is a movement. It's not a moment.
It shouldn't have to take like the senseless killing of Black bodies to make someone empathize with like the Black community. The tension between the police and the Black people there, it's like they know what they're doing. Like they know that, it's like they know that there's a community hurting, but their job comes first. I've never been that close to an officer knowing what I know and feeling how I felt. It's very different to be in front of the oppressor and just like say what you need to say.
So I realized that I have to use my voice. And like the other organizers are here, we've used our voice today to try and represent this community and try and bring unity.
We're still being oppressed, and I think that's important for schools to touch on, and they don't.
We've never learned about police brutality in school, and we never do.
As one! Stand! As one! Stand! As one! Stand!
We're trying to set a trend throughout the city, throughout the country, throughout the state on how to peacefully protest and how to be heard, how to get your voice across, and how to get law enforcement to join you.
When we spoke up there, I knew a lot of them were like, they organized this. Like these people that we go to school with were able to get all these people out here. It's just because we know what we go through, they don't.
This is our city. This is where we've grown up. This is where we have our most influence and the most power.
When you turn the other cheek, Father, 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 help us. It's guidance from above. People got me questioning, where is the love?
If we are not giving Black and brown children the tools to advocate for themselves, and if we are not teaching white students about the history, the true history from a Black and brown perspective, then we are never going to be able to liberate ourselves. As oppressed people, have to educate ourselves, and then we have to demand that the oppressors are educated. If I can do that, coming from where I come from, you can too.